Is it possible that your fear of success might actually be what's holding you back from doing the things that you want to do? Like, hear me out though, like for real. So, I've kind of been thinking about this idea of the fear of success. So, last year or the year before last, I think it was 2024, I started a Substack, something super new, trying to work my way out of Meta and just that whole Instagram bubble. And I started a Substack. Little did I know, my Substack actually started gaining traction. I was able to hit like 100 subscribers within the first 30 days of the platform. I had a note, which is kind of like tweets, but for Substack. I had a note do really well. Celebrities like retweeted it and stuff. And so that garnered some more attention and traction to my page. And I started getting all these like strangers. So the next thing I knew, I had like over 200 subscribers within like the first 2 months of being on the platform. And something quickly turned for me, and I basically just decided to abandon the entire page. Like, I haven't written anything in over a year and a half. I just left it. And now I'm sitting like thinking to myself, like, holy crap, like, where could I have been if I continued to ride on that momentum that I got? And I realized the reason why I stepped away from it was because people were watching now. Like, people were looking at what I was doing. People were noticing my writings. And I was also gaining followers and subscribers from my writing themselves. Like, it wasn't just notes. Like, what I was putting out in the world was actually resonating with people, and they wanted to hear more. And the whole thing just like really freaked me out. So I abandoned ship and I left. So from that experience, it just had me thinking about just the world of like success. Like, is there a part of us that inherently kind of retreats when there's more eyes on the work that we're doing, even though like that is the point. Like, you want people to see your work, you want more followers, you want more exposure and more visibility. But then when all this eyes is on you, it becomes a moment like, holy crap, like, I need to actually produce, I need to show up, I need to do that thing. So it really just had me thinking about the whole concept of like the fear of success. Like, is there a part of us creatives where, yes, we want attention, and yes, we want people to notice the work that we're doing, but once we actually get that attention, it becomes like a reason to retreat. Like, the inner introvert in us just like overcomes us, and we're like, I don't want anything to do with that anymore, and we just like step back. So with that in mind, I've been ruminating on the idea of like the fear of success. What does that look like for creatives, especially someone who is a small creator who isn't used to that much exposure all at once? Start getting that exposure, start getting that visibility. It kind of makes the imposter syndrome like well up into us. Like, do I deserve this level of success? Like, do I deserve this level of attention? But maybe that really is like the wrong thinking. Like, the fruits of your labor is actually being like produced, but now you're afraid of it. Now you're wanting to retreat from that. So am I the only one who experiences that? I'm sure I'm not, because obviously I'm making this video because of that. Like, I actually recently read a Substack article from a creator. I don't remember the name of it, but I'll definitely link it below once I find it. But she had similar experiences of that, where I think she was creating a new body of work that was getting attention, and now, hey, it's time for you to actually like produce the thing, and this is a moment for you to retreat and hide and just like not do the work. So I'm thinking more intensely about this because I'm wondering, Is this the reason why sometimes I have been afraid to show up to do things? Why I have been afraid to show up and make the YouTube video or send the newsletter or make the art and have my ideas and my opinions be publicly known, because I'm afraid of getting so much eyes on me and on my work and having to back that up with like some level of like creativity or some level of no, like I don't really know how to explain it, but I think the fear of success is way more common than we think, and it's probably one of those conversations that isn't had enough, because as we've seen like multiple times, Hollywood and just, you know, artists and mainstream artists, like there definitely can be a negative side of having so much exposure, and we all know the stories, like, you know, drug abuse and alcohol abuse and having so much money that it kind of triggers other unsettling parts within ourselves that we were not privy to until we had so much attention and eyes on us. So is there a way to combat that? Is there a way to gently step into our creative being and our creative ideas in a gentler way, where it still allows us to be the version of ourselves that we know that we are, but strips away all that pressure that we're putting on ourselves? So that's the conversation that I'm having in this video today, the fear of success. Like, what does a fear of success look like for you? Have you experienced that? And is that a link between you not showing up to do the thing that you want to do? Because like the worst case scenario, like we always think about, oh, what if everything goes wrong, but like what if everything goes right? Like what if everything goes extremely right and you're just not prepared for that level of attention that you get? I think it's kind of like the same of like going viral, like especially when you go viral for something that is completely not related to what it is that you do, then you almost feel you almost feel tied to having to like replicate more and more of this type of work, because you saw the overall effect that it had on the larger scale. Like people resonated with this compared to everything else that you've done before. So is the success like rooted in the thing that you actually love doing, or was this just like a side quest that just happened to pop off and now you feel like stuck to this idea? I think that social media definitely permeates this idea of like, you know, virality and people feeling stuck to this certain niche or this certain art style or this certain sound or this certain way of like writing words. And because the masses respond to it, we then feel like this is the only thing that we can do. And I think in many ways, like this is probably why I had to step away from social media, and I have been off of Meta and really all social media platforms with the exception of YouTube now for like the last going on 2 years now. In that process, I have felt so much more free to express my ideas and to express my political views through my work, and have that received from an audience that actually knows me and actually gets me and actually understands the root of the work that I'm trying to create, or the root of the work that I am creating. It becomes a lot easier to have that dialogue and have that conversation, especially when it's happening with people that you know and you trust, and it's not being broadcasted on this mass scale where your words can be easily misconstrued and easily twisted into something that it was never meant to be. It's very easy to be misjudged and misguided and misidentified when you're putting yourself out on a platform that makes it very easy for people to misunderstand you. Like just the whole social media culture makes it easy for people to project their own views onto you, especially when they don't know you. So I think maybe my fear of success probably boils down to the fear of success on a online platform. obviously I want all the success in the real world. I want all the opportunities in the real world. But when you're putting yourself out there on the virtual space, you have to be prepared for some level of negativity and some level of being taken wrong. And I think that's probably what happened with me on Substack. Like, I started getting all this like unwarranted messages from like people that I didn't know. Like, why are you DMing me, bro? Like, I don't know you. Like, why are you talking to me? But at the same time, I almost limited people who did want to get to know me, and people who I probably wanted to get to know, from limiting access to me. So it's just like a, you know, you kind of get it or you don't get it. But I think that social media definitely plays a negative role in people being able to freely fall into their creativity, because they might be concerned of how other people might perceive them. I hope all of this is making sense and maybe resonating with you, but I would love to know your thoughts about this. Like, is the fear of success an actual real thing, or is this something that I'm making up in my head? I don't think it is, because like I said, I read another article about that, but I feel like this is a conversation that's not had enough in the creative space, especially when it comes to this whole conversation that I'm having surrounding fear. Like, is the idea of like, what if everything goes right? Is that what's holding people back? Is that what's holding you back? Is that what's holding me back? In some ways, I will definitely acknowledge like it for sure in some ways has held me back. But is that like the continuing narrative? What if it all works out? Now I have to like show up and do the thing. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.